unity of the African people remains one of the biggest challenges facing the Black race today. And in most places where this has been attempted, despite a common vision, different ideological commitments and divergent opinions regarding strategy and structuring of the organization soon divides and obstructs the pursuit of unity. Meanwhile, many believe that if oneness can be achieved among the African people, then it could be the beginning of the true independence the continent needs. Regardless of these challenges, some sons of Africa are not giving up on the possibility of uniting Africans. Ishe Maponga is originally from Zimbabwe, and he is working with a group of other Zimbabweans living in the Atlantic Canada to establish the first ever Zimbabweans in the Maritime Association. Ishe joins me now to talk about their plans and more. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me, Promise. Really appreciate the time.
Same here.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
About myself, well, born and raised in Zimbabwe, is where I'm originally from. Moved here around 2013. Went to Dalhousie University, did a double major in environmental science and sustainability. And I guess in terms of who I am as a person, somebody who always enjoys community, who always enjoys bringing people together and just having a good time, which is kind of what the focus of what our association kind of is. And we can get into that as we go forward, I guess.
Right, Ishe. So why is it so important and why is it coming up just about now?
So to be honest, it's not coming up just about now. It has been something that has been in the works. People prior from back in the day, they also had an association as well too back in the day, which was kind of just to bring together Zimbabweans and to kind of create a space for Zimbabweans where we can all just come together, share ideas, share job postings, and also just to create a sense of community and family. You know, it's as an immigrant, when you first realize that, for example, that you're Black the moment that you step on the tarmac at Halifax International Airport, right? It's the first time that you realize that you're Black, and most of the times you tend to feel some form of loneliness, some form of not having a community around you, and having grown up in certain societies back home, whereby I mean in Shona we say mwana anorerwa nenharaunda yaunenge. So it's like basically the community that you have is what makes you into a person, correct? But then when you move on, when you move to these ends, to this part of the world, you kind of lose that because you move here by yourself and you are in a space whereby it's a new environment, even with new people as well too, and a very diverse group of people. So one of the things that we are really trying to focus on as an association is to create that space whereby new immigrants or new arrivals from Zimbabwe will never feel as if they're lonely, will never feel as if they left home. You know, it's about creating a home away from home for people.
Right. So broadly speaking, what exactly would be your goal and vision for this organization?
So we have a couple of objectives, and I can go through them, but I think it's just worthwhile that I just encompass them with one or two sentences, and that being, we want to have a community of Zimbabweans whereby we can help each other, uplift each other. You know, like I am my brother's keeper, you yourself, Promise, you are your brother's keeper as well too. So it's really reinforcing those morals and those fundamental principles that we all came here with, but we tend to lose given the modernity of this type of this side of the world, etc. So it's really reinforcing those principles and those fundamentals of creating community, creating a social space for Zimbabweans. So I think that kind of encompasses everything that we want to do. And so one of the first steps that some other Zimbabweans took, specifically Eddie Jakata, he created a WhatsApp platform. That's basically where everything started off from, where he took numbers from different Zimbabweans that he knew and that knew him as well too, and he just created a WhatsApp group. And it's within that WhatsApp group that now people share job postings. If anybody has a bereavement, we always come together, we commensurate together, and we make sure that there's some form of comfort, you know. So I think that's kind of, no, not kind of, that is what we are aiming to do, to create a safe space for Zimbabweans to feel like they are still in Zimbabwe, or to feel like they have a home away from home.
I love the idea of making sure that the Zimbabweans feel home, even here in Nova Scotia. But you
There we
see,
go.
our viewers might be a bit curious. They'd like to know more about the Zimbabwean community. Tell us a little more about your community here in Nova Scotia.
More about Zimbabwe. I mean, I guess the uniqueness about Zimbabweans is we are very resilient. Not too
Right.
sure if you know about Zimbabwean history, but we have gone through our fair share of political drama, I would say.
Right.
And that has really trickled down into stunted economic growth. And in turn, it has led to high levels of unemployment, etc. So, with that being said, it has really fostered a sense of hustle culture. I think that is the colloquial term that people use. There's a lot of hustling that happens within the Zimbabwean community, and this translates to that resilient nature, that ability to withstand and withhold any type of adversities that may be thrown at you, even just simple things such as the weather, you know, because we all know Nova Scotian weather is not the best. One day it can be sunny, just like today. Tomorrow we're going to have a snowstorm, you know. So it's like really understanding that Zimbabweans are very resilient. We have had our fair share of political drama, our fair share of social drama as well too. But through it all, we have managed to keep sane. On one end, we have also managed to be resilient in the form that, and in the sense that we are able to chug on. We are able to keep going on. We're able to still put food on the table. We're able to still smile, able to still be a happy people. You know, a lot of people always say Zimbabweans are the most happiest people they are in Southern Africa, and I'll safely say that. And that's because we have gone through any and everything that people can think about in terms of it being negative.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah,
Africans are most happy people, the happiest people can ever
there we
imagine.
go.
So, what
There we
kind
go.
of change exactly does this association bring to the Zimbabweans living here in Nova Scotia? Because I assume that you may have had some groups here and there who probably not
Yeah.
officially registered, but you're bringing on board something that looks different. What is that change that the people here in Zimbabwe should be expecting?
Formality and accountability. I think those are the two
Nice.
main things that registering the society is going to bring. Formality in the sense that we are now able to leverage ourselves as a community with the provincial government to get more grants and funding for programs associated with mentorship, for programs such as our Independence Day. I know, like, for example, the Nigerian community, they always throw a very big independence gala. So that's kind of where the mindset is at in terms of formalizing this social network. I think it's best we call it a social network that was always there. So we're looking to formalize it so that we can have leverage for grants, and we can have leverage for grants, and in turn create some type of financial backing to make sure that every single event that we pull is going to be in the news.
And
Yeah.
so people who have different expectations, different opinions, different ideologies, basically, how prepared are you and your team, anyways, to deal with these situations when they arise?
Promise, there is beauty in diversity, and there is beauty in opposing opinions, because at the end of the day, those opposing opinions, the middle ground is where growth is found, right? At the end of the day, so as much as people have different opinions, as much as everybody's going to have something to say about something, right? At the end of the day, our prerogative, or the prerogative of the executive, is at the executive and the board of directors, is to make sure that we are creating a level playing field for everybody. And level playing field meaning that we are adhering to our objectives that we have in our bylaws, and we are also adhering to our mandate, and our mandate being making sure that we are creating a home away from home for Zimbabweans. So if we really govern ourselves with those principles and with those fundamentals, I'm pretty sure at the end of the day we'll be able to incorporate every person's opinion and discern which ones will actually help the society move forward on one end, and also help the society grow, which is something that I don't think I mentioned. As much as the society is going to be registered in Nova Scotia, it's actually going to be across the board in the whole of the Maritimes.
Right.
So what that then means is we're looking to reach people in PEI. Are you Zimbabwean who's in PEI? How have you been faring out there? Okay, cool. Come on board, come to our social network. What do you need? How can we help you make PEI a home away from home for yourself? That's where the mindset is. So when we go into it with that mindset, I'm pretty sure everybody is going to come on board with it, because nobody wants to feel lonely and nobody wants to feel like they're not at home. So
Right.
if everybody moves with that principle, if everybody jumps on the bandwagon, I would say we should not have too many different opposing opinions, and in turn, that will mean that we will be okay moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah, this should be okay. I mean, if you bring on board ideas that meets the majority of the people in your community. So, do you have any plans of working with leaders of other African communities to achieve some of these your goals? Because as you've mentioned about the Nigerian independence occasion they usually have here in Nova Scotia, and I'm sure Ghana has theirs and a couple other African countries. Are you reaching out to leaders of these different associations to at least leverage on their experience to make yours better as a start off?
Yes, and yes. So just to summarize it all, I think you mentioned it at the beginning of your at the introduction, that there is power in numbers, pretty much, right? And there's always something to learn from those who were in front of you before. And also that information that you get from, for example, you're talking about the Nigerian society, the Ghanaian society, those societies who have established themselves already, they can definitely teach us a thing or two, right? And when we take those 2 points, those 3 points, when we take them and bring them to our own society, we're going to now have to make them applicable to our own morals, our own ideas, and our own ideologies. So we're taking little nuggets, we're taking little bits of information and putting things together to make sure that we're going to have a very solid foundation as a society. You know, it's even like right now we're working on the bylaws, and we have picked not only from cultural societies, but even just normal societies as well too, like non-profit organizations. We have really tried to do a in-depth search, more or less, as to how other societies are governed, how the bylaws are set up, how is membership defined in the bylaws, the membership fee, how does it come about, all those little bits and pieces. We have really been trying to incorporate them into our bylaws as well. So all that to say, yes, and yes.
Interesting. So on a final note, is there any word you have for our audience before I let you go?
There's power in numbers, and with that being said, I would like to speak to my fellow Zimbabweans who are listening as well too. I just want to say, come on board. Let's make something beautiful. Let's make a home away from home for Zimbabweans, and let's create a social network that is the best in Nova Scotia when it comes to Africans. Then I think that's just where I would like to end it. And thank you very much, gentlemen, for the time as well too.
And thank you again for stopping by on our show, Ishe.
Much appreciated.
Right, so that was Ishe Maponga. We reached him in Halifax. And if you have not done so already, please subscribe to this channel. My name is Promise Okoy, and I'll see you soon.